If you love Halloween, more importantly, if you live Halloween every single day of your life, then you are absolutely in the right place right here on the Halloween Daily News YouTube channel. And the most direct way that you can help out and support what we do here at Halloween Daily News is by becoming a channel member. There's just one tier, it's just $5 a month. You get early access to our exclusive interviews, a lot of our exclusive pre-recorded content. Channel members also get access to exclusive merch discounts and many videos not made available to the public. There's also going to be members only exclusive live events, giveaways, and lots more killer perks you can learn more about in the membership tab. It's basically like Patreon, except here on YouTube. I urge you to consider it. We've got a really awesome, amazing, growing community in there already, and I invite you to become a part of it. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching, and thank you for considering becoming an HDN channel member. Hey everybody, I want to remind you that we have official merch. That's right, now available in the HDN Spring Store. You can show your love for Halloween every day, all year round, with official Halloween Daily News t-shirts. Many different designs are available, many different styles, colors, all sizes, including the original HDN Classic, our special Triple M crew design for the Michael Myers Monday regulars out there, and our brand new What Would John Carpenter Do design. All of these are available, like I said, multiple sizes, colors, and styles on t-shirts. And that's not all. We've got other merch available like mugs and stickers and lots of other cool stuff. Check it out now at the merch link in the description of this video. Do not attempt to adjust your device screen. We are in control of the broadcast. We control the horizontal. We control the vertical. The time has come. Please stand by for a live transmission from Halloween Daily News. Yes, 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 it is that time again. Light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. Let's see who else is awake and alive out there tonight. Happy Michael Myers Monday, and hello, Haddonfield. Welcome to it, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Matt. We are Halloween Daily News, and if you just happen to stumble upon this spring gathering, this is what we call Michael Myers Monday Live, the ultimate gathering and celebration of the greatest horror franchise of all time, the greatest fictional serial killer ever created, and hanging out with the greatest fan community in existence. And that brings me to our returning friends. What's up, everybody? Happy Michael Myers Monday. You made it. We all made it through another week, through another Monday. And that, as always, is reason enough to celebrate. So thank you for hanging out with me and celebrating with me this evening. It is Michael Myers Monday. It is Monday, April 15th, halfway through the month. I appreciate you hanging out with me. We got some fun stuff to talk about this evening. A couple interesting news bites. We're going to do some poll results, launch a new poll, shout-outs at the end. I got a clip from my recent interview with Mr. Tom Jones Jr. that we're going to take a look at in just a few minutes. And as promised, I'm going to be digging in to just a little bit. We're not even going to come anywhere near covering it all, but just some of what I am already uncovering and just really loving in this new Halloween Illustrated Novelization reissue. So we got all that going on this evening. I appreciate you guys hanging out and being here. No special guest this evening. I know it seems a little weird after 4 years of it being just me. Now we have a couple weeks of some special guests, and now all of a sudden it feels a little empty in here. It feels a little quiet in here without a special guest. But don't worry, we're far from done. We're going to keep that going and keep having people on here for these live discussions, because I've really enjoyed it, and you guys have expressed that you've really enjoyed it and appreciate it. And perhaps most importantly, our guests have so far all said that they really enjoyed it, and many of them have expressed interest and willingness to come back and join us again. So it has been fun, and we're going to keep doing that. But tonight, you're stuck with me, just like the old days. Is it the old days, like 2 months ago? But in any case, thanks for hanging out, guys. Let's see who's in the live chat. I see a lot of friends already. Of course, David Suber, Megan checking in early. Jenny is here as well. Mike Johnson, what's up? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Channel member, illustrious Mr. Rob Windsor in the house. Thank you for being here, Rob. Teen Wolf, of course. Wouldn't be Monday without you. Thanks for hanging out as well. Tim Leo, what's up, man? Glad you can chill with us this evening. What's up, Phil? Thanks for being here. Josh, thank you for being here as well. Happy Michael Myers Monday. And of course, the great Patrick Ring, that Halloween movie collector. Thanks to you as well for joining us. And to anybody else joining us that I may miss, I see Darth Guyver is here as well. If I missed anybody, hopefully I'll get to you before the night's up, but please don't be offended and don't be shy. Chime in the live chat again if you are amongst the new blood. We've got, like I said, a pretty fun night. It's going to be a chill night. It's going to be a relaxed night. Nothing too crazy. But like I said, I am just loving this Halloween illustrated book. I'm still very much in the beginning of it, but just here this evening, actually, just in the last hour, I was just reading a couple more pages. Really fun, cool stuff, and really just kind of browsing through some of that amazing artwork as well. So I'm looking forward to talking about that and starting my epic breakdown of that whole release. But first, before we get into that, a couple little announcements for you guys. You might see I've got a pinned post up here in the chat, a pinned comment, I guess. What that's all about is starting right now, here tonight, on Michael Myers Monday Live, April 15th, for the next 2 weeks until the end of April, we are running our first ever halfway to Halloween mask sale. And we've never done a sale quite like this, where it's just going to be a flat 10% off of any of our in-stock full deluxe head masks. And we don't have a ton, but we do have a couple different Myers masks if you haven't picked up one. We've got a couple Creature from the Black Lagoon masks as well by Trick or Treat Studios. This discount applies to the Creature. It applies to all of our currently in stock Myers masks, and that includes H2018, H Kills, and H Ins, as well as this bad boy over here. This is my copy, but we've got one more of these. This is the Rob Zombie Halloween 07, but Trick or Treat calls it the 92 Murder Mask because that's the clean version that actually Daig would have worn as young Michael killing Judith. So you can get 10% off of any or all of those masks I just listed. All you have to do is go to our online store at HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. And when you go into checkout, use code H2H2024. H2H2024. H2H for halfway to Halloween 2024. Again, this offer only applies on the full head masks, but that is a pretty good discount, and I hope you will take advantage of it if you were considering adding any of those to your collection or just need an extra one to experiment on, maybe to work on your rehaul skills, possibly. Who knows? So keep that in mind. Also, on the interview front and on the looking ahead to next Michael Myers Monday, currently I have an interview, a pretty exciting interview scheduled for later on this week. I'm not going to name who it is right now. You guys know how it is. I'm a little superstitious about that stuff. But you can look for an announcement probably Friday evening as to who this person is. And it's very likely that next week's Triple M will be another unlive edition, meaning that we will premiere this person's interview in this live slot, and I will still be here live in the live chat participating with you guys, and we'll run it like that, similar to how we did the Tom Jones Jr. interview just a week or two ago, where we kind of slipped that one in between all of our live guests. It only made sense to premiere that in this slot, and I called it Michael Myers Monday Unlive for that. So it's very possible that next week will be an unlive edition with the premiere of that interview, but when you see who it is, and then you'll understand, and you'll geek out like I am. But all that being said, we're in an exciting time for this franchise, and as you know, there could be some news breaking regarding this TV series at any point. It might happen in a few months, but honestly, it could happen in a few hours. So if there's some exciting news or some new developments between now and then, within the next week or so, then that plan will be altered and I'll be back here live. And then the following week, we'll be back here live. Most likely, no matter what. That's the current plan anyway. So that's a little bit of scheduling. Oh, one more thing, another interview I can go ahead and exclusively reveal to you guys that is coming, and I will name the person, although they're not from Haddonfield. They're not from this franchise. They did have a little run-in with Jigsaw once upon a time, but that's not what they were here talking about. My next new exclusive interview dropping later on this week, of course, channel members will get the early access, is with Laura Gordon. She is one of the stars of the current must-see Halloween horror movie, and it's probably going to be the must-see Halloween horror movie of the year, Late Night with the Devil. I hope you checked out my most recent interview with the amazing David Desmalchin. He is awesome in this role. He's getting raves, and rightfully so. And he stopped by and talked to us here at HDN, and it was amazing. It was awesome. I hope you've checked it out already. If you can't, you can find it elsewhere on this channel in the interviews playlist. Also, if you haven't checked out my earlier interview with David's co-star Ingrid Torelli, who plays Lily in the film, check that out as well. Both of those are awesome. Just awesome people, awesome performances, awesome new characters, and an awesome new Halloween movie. And Laura's performance um, as Lily's doctor, that's no exception either. She turns in a great performance, and we had a great time chatting last week, and I look forward to sharing that with you in just a couple days right here on the channel. So, a lot of cool things coming your way. Next week, there'll be another cool junket interview that I have scheduled coming up in a couple days regarding an upcoming Prime Video horror series. Um, I'm not going to say too much right now. Again, don't want to jinx everything, but exciting stuff to look forward to right here. And if you haven't entered our Lisa Frankenstein, our second digital giveaway, we did our first one for members only. And Lance Files, if you're out there, if you're watching this, you won that, man. Hit me up. I got your digital code. But we got a second digital code from Universal Home Entertainment, and we're doing that giveaway over on our Instagram. If you want to own Lisa Frankenstein digital, we're drawing the name later on this evening after I get off the air here. But you've got until midnight tonight to enter that giveaway for the Lisa Frankenstein digital code. So check that out. All right. We're going to get into just a couple brief little news bites here before we flash back to Tom's interview and get into the novel discussion. But the first news bite was teased a week ago after Daig signed off after our epic conversation with Great Daig himself last week, which I had a blast with. We did talk about, and I suggested to you guys my thoughts, my feelings. There was just something in the air that made me feel like we were very likely to get some new John Carpenter music last week. And, they typically release new singles on Tuesdays, and that would have meant midnight on Michael Myers Monday. That was a week where we were at an earlier start time for prime time. And so we weren't on the air at midnight, but I had mentioned to you guys, you might want to stay up and stick it out and see if there is, in fact, a new Carpenter track, because it lined up for a number of reasons. And long story short, that happened. The track dropped, and it is amazing. I'm sure you guys have listened to it now. It's called He Walks by. It kind of gives me a bit of foggish vibes, you know what I mean, from The Fog. This is April after all. This is the week that The Fog takes place. It's almost the Fog Day, guys. But when the piano kicks in on He Walks by Night, Cody Carpenter with that piano, very kind of reminiscent of the some of the theme from The Fog, if you ask me. But and then there's some parts in it that kind of remind me of the recent Halloween trilogy, because whenever Daniel Davies comes in with the electric guitar stuff, a lot of that kind of takes me back to our most recent stints in Haddonfield. So that's out now. You can listen to it at HalloweenDailyNews.com. If you haven't, you should have already listened to it and added it to your John Carpenter playlist, like I did, like I'm sure most of you guys already have. The album, this is the second single. This follows the first single, which is called, which I love the title of the first one, My Name is Death. The album will be released on May 3rd, so really in just a couple weeks, we're going to have the full album out from Sacred Bones Records. Of course, there's a number of different variants that you can pre-order right now. And I will add the direct link in the description of this video when we get done here. But for now, I'll just throw it in the live chat right here. How about that? There's the link to our article right there in the live chat if you need to. David Suber just saw Carpenter at a con, took a pic with him, and the Screen Use Christine card. Dude! Oh my God, that is awesome, David. Man, I mean, a photo and with the Christine card too. Speaking of Carpenter at cons, shout out to our buddy Lurch out there who gave me the heads up. Actually, I don't know how I missed the memo, but Carpenter and quite a few folks from Haddonfield have been added to the lineup at Nightmare Weekend happening in October. I think it's the second weekend in October, mid-October in Richmond, Virginia, which is in kind of easy driving distance to us. So we might have to see what we can do about getting out to that one. Some other friends of ours like Sandy Johnson, Sandy Johnson and Tommy Lee Wallace have also been added to that lineup as well. This is a produced by GalaxyCon, but this is an all horror themed event. So that's going to be a cool one. But that is awesome, David. Congrats on that, man. For real. Darlene has checked in as well. What's up? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Lee the Machine Bowers in the house. And the great Christopher Nelson checking in the live chat. What is up, Christopher? Happy Michael Myers Monday to you, sir. Everybody, raise a toast. We have an Oscar winner in the live chat this evening. Mr. Nelson has entered the chat. I love it. Thank you for hanging out and saying hello tonight, man. I hope you're doing well. And it looks like we have a super chat here. Sorry I missed that when it came in, guys. That's because it just came in. All right, Leah the Machine Bowers. Happy Michael Myers Monday, and yes, Christopher Nelson is in the chat. Look at that. Love it. Thank you, Lee, for the $20 super chat. You are the man, Lee. I love it, man. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Darth Awesome. Yeah, it is. Yes, everybody, say hello to Mr. Nelson in the live chat. I know Christopher Nelson's probably been cranking those new John Carpenter tunes. I know I have, man. I mean, that new one, when it dropped after we got done here with Dag last week, I just had it on repeat, for like an hour, and then the next day I was just listening to it over and over, and then I by the end of the day I'd kind of go back to the previous single, My Name Is Death, and go back and forth between those. But yeah, I really like He Walks by Night, and like I said, it does give me. I mean, do you guys hear what I'm hearing when I say the fog? Foggish. It's just kind of about those piano vibes in the best way. Of course, I love the Fog soundtrack. It's one of the best. But so we've got new Carpenter music. 2 new tracks out in the last month, and now in just a couple weeks we got the full album. So that's pretty damn noteworthy. And if we didn't even talk about the release of My Name Is Death, because again we had a guest here that week, and so I hit on it just very briefly. But the official video for that is so cool. And did you notice? I love how it opens. The very first image in that was of a pumpkin. I thought that was really cool. Um, you know, can't have too much Halosphere for me. You guys know that. But yeah, I just really love both of these tracks a lot. But let me know what you think. Are you listening to them like I am? Another little news bite. I mentioned this actually a while back, and now I don't think I have the tab open anymore. I mentioned the fan film. It's called Mask of Evil, and I want to give the director Michael a shout out. He's been really nice to us and tagging us on a bunch of stuff, and I know he put a lot of work into the fan film. And it is out now. The full film is out. You might recall, I talked about it a few weeks back. I was sent an advance screener link for it, and it's called Mask of Evil. And again, when we get done here, I'll add the link down below. But if you go to our fan films playlist, it's already in there. But what sets this one apart, in part, is that I'm not going to get too spoilery, but Michael is searching for his other mask, let's say, his earlier mask. It has a lot to do with the clown mask, which I thought was an interesting take on the whole mythology and what drives Michael. But I do like that Michael's going to be slashing his way to his mask of evil, because it's Halloween. He wants it, but trying to get back into that 6-year-old clown vibe is what the fan film is essentially about in a lot of ways. But check it out and let me know what you think when you get a chance. I think again, it's obviously low budget or no budget pretty much, but these fan films are made with passion, and it is an enjoyable one to watch. It's not very long. So check that out in our playlist labeled fan films if you're into that. Lurch has checked in. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Yep, doing well. Doing well. Thanks for checking in. All right. Oh, and there was another, just a brief little news bite that I I feel like mentioning. We don't usually cover leaks, um, but man, there is a ton of Halloween merch leaks happening right now on social media from all kinds of retailers and manufacturers, and animatronic stuff is all over the place, and some of it has been officially teased. In the case of like Home Depot, they released some official photos recently teasing some of their stuff, which I think was a good move because they were trying to get ahead of just some of the leaks and everything, which are seemingly inevitable now. Um, and I won't report on a leak. This won't be an article on the website or anything, but for discussion purposes and just to get us all the more geeked for Halloween season, the coming Halloween season of 2024. This one product leak that I thought it might be fun to take a look at because if it is in fact legit, which I don't doubt its legitimacy, but bear in mind, not confirmed. Um, but it looks like something that's probably going to be a must own for me. Leah the Machine Bowers in the house once again. 999. I love it, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Let's see. All right, let's pause and address this super chat right now so I don't get distracted, and then we'll get back into this product. It's not a product reveal. It's a product leak, I guess. Um, Lee says whoever is doing the Halloween TV series, they should hire Christopher Nelson to do the makeup effects. His work is amazing. Well, I cannot disagree with that. I would hope they would hire Christopher if he would be interested in doing it and would be available, obviously. Um, Maybe that would be the second call. The first to me would be John Carpenter to say, "Can you do the music?" But beyond that, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that one bit. I think, yeah, if Christopher wanted to return to Haddonfield, of course, and who knows, maybe he wants to vacation elsewhere this year. I don't know. And again, I don't know when we're going to start getting details like that out. I do expect, though, as I've said before, that we are going to be getting those details fairly soon. And I'm still just going back to those comments from Mark Helwig from Miramax saying that it is a priority for them, saying that they've had a bunch of meetings, saying of sorry, it looks like we lost connection for a second. Um, I don't know if you guys missed any of that, but now that I've lost my place, what I was saying is I would hope, and what I'm really hoping to see is that cameras roll this calendar year, like by this fall, maybe by late summer, they're shooting. That sets us up perfectly and pretty much guarantees a fall 2025 premiere for this series. So, as far as the news that we're just going to dissect and pour over, I think that's the next little bit. We're going to be getting, writing, directing, basically a showrunner name or maybe showrunners, and whether or not it's going to come with what network this is going to be on or streamer. That might come at the same time too, or they might want to get this out there, this package out there, and then kind of shop it around to the networks from there. But again, fingers crossed that cameras roll this camera year or this calendar year. Excuse me. Yeah, Mike agrees. Brett Patrick in the house, another illustrious channel member. Everybody, consider becoming a channel member. It's just $5 a month. It goes a long way in supporting what we do here at HDN, and you get all kinds of cool perks, like you will get my upcoming interview with Laura Gordon from Late Night with the Devil early. You're going to get it before anybody else, just like with pretty much all of our exclusive interviews and most of our pre-recorded content, barring breaking news stuff that we just can't hold because it's just too hot. We just can't hold on to it like a hot potato. Oh, yes. We were going to look at these leaked images. Now, this comes to us from the Decorating Fanatics. Oh, Michael Myers in the live chat, stalking silently in the live chat. Heads up. Hide the knives. Okay. And another reason I want to talk about it is because it seems like it's already getting shared all around anyway, and it appears that we are getting a cool new collectible from Spirit Halloween this year. These photos come from the Facebook group called Decorating Fanatics, and I don't know their sources or where they get this leaked stuff, but these images do look like what Spirit would likely sell, and if so, this might be a must own for me this year. So check it out, guys. This is allegedly a new Spirit Halloween exclusive, officially licensed Halloween 2 skull pumpkin light up jack-o'-lantern. And if what the Decorating Fanatics page admin says is true, it's actually going to be a blow mold. I don't know the size of this. I'm thinking it'll probably be a tabletop, like, general jack-o'-lantern size blow mold. Not necessarily an oversized, big lawn size blow mold, I don't think. Although that would be awesome. But you guys, regular viewers, know what a nut I am for blow molds in general, and then also for H2 in general, and for this particular poster image from H2. I love it. And this would be the back of that with the Halloween 2 font on there, which is an interesting choice. I I don't mind it because it's going to be out of view, honestly, probably wherever I display this, probably. Um, I mean, I guess it gives you the option to have it a 360 view, and but I don't need that on it necessarily. But I don't hate it either. But this looks really cool, and yeah, there is the stem there. This was kind of cropping that out a little bit here. Now you can see there's the full image. So again, this is all alleged at the moment. This is a leaked image from the Decorating Fanatics Facebook page. Um, but if this is in fact a blow mold releasing in 2024 from Spirit Halloween, I think I might have to be adding this to my blow mold collection. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Um, Especially looking for my collectors out there, Patrick. Um, what do you think about this one, my man? You probably seen the posts like I have, that this is supposedly coming this year. It looks like something Spirit would have, and Spirit has been doing more with H2 recently. So it lines up. It tracks. It definitely tracks. Yeah, Josh says I feel it doesn't need the font on it. Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't need the H2 on it. It kind of, like when Trigger Treat Studios does their pumpkin re-releases or their pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns from the movies, the opening credits and stuff, they don't have the font really big on there. It's kind of treated like an actual jack-o'-lantern, which is kind of cool. And I think, yeah, or if they were going to have it, it could have been smaller, maybe lower and smaller. Um, Not a big deal because again, for me, I imagine once I own it, it's going to be all about that skull, uh, that skull carved into the jack o' lantern, which is just so iconic for me, and I just love that poster image and the opening credits for H2. Which, by the way, in about 5 minutes, we're not going to talk about it yet, but our next poll is launching, and it's going to be asking favorite opening credits, inspired by, you guessed it, this release. I try to keep things connected whenever possible around here, a little bit, if possible. But yeah, the tabletop, if it's a tabletop blow mold from Spirit, that's going to be relatively affordable too, I imagine. I hope. um, but yeah, that I'm gonna have to um put on my wish list for Halloween 2024. I think. Ask the Great Pumpkin that to bring me that on Halloween morning. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, Darlene, that's on her list as well. Um, let's see. Patrick, had you heard about this? I see. You guys are gonna watch the trilogy again in order this Halloween? Yeah. If it's not too much, then yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's a Spirit Halloween blow mold, it should be pretty affordable, I think. But I mean, that's one I would yeah, it just looks cool, and I just love that H2O skull pumpkin, and the opening credits. Like I was thinking about that. Do I like those opening credits more than 78? I don't know. I gotta think about it. I'll be ready to reveal my favorite next week when we go over the results of that poll. Yeah, H4 is a killer opening too, Darth. Yep. That's definitely one of the. Well, I put my five favorite up there as the options. You can always write in other ones. But yeah, my top five opening credits in no particular order right now, but it would be well in chronological order. I'll say it would be H78, H2, H4, H2018, and H kills. Those are in chronological order. My five favorite opening credits, and those are the options you will have. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's okay. Who cares? Um, it's pertinent to the conversation we're having right now. Yeah, Brett says H4 has the ultimate opening, giving you that great atmosphere for the Halloween season. It is perfect halosphere. That's so important halosphere, and it does set the season. And I love just the music. Alan Howarth's just very subtle. Almost no music. It's not like the H78 and H2O where we got the theme, and it's um. Do I like that one more than H2 though? Oh my gosh! I really got to think about this because that one is more Halloween itself. You're right, but H2 is more Halloween, like Myers Halloween to me. Um, yeah, I gotta go. And do you guys see how many of the H2 unofficial skull pumpkins we see out and about nowadays? So it's cool to be getting an actual licensed one. Hopefully, it seems. But if this turns out to be true, it'll be cool to have an actual officially licensed one. Because I own some uh, pumpkins with a skull carved in them, decorations, tabletop animatronic type stuff. And I've gotten them specifically because it's like, look, it's the H2 pumpkin. It's just an unofficial, unlicensed version, but uh, those I see more and more every year as it is. So the fact that they're not just doing, H2 Michael as in like blood tears type stuff, which is cool. It's a cool look. As preposterous as it might be in the film, it's an iconic, awesome look. You can't deny it. But yeah, I like that they're using that because it's really just from the poster, and the credits, of course. Um, all right, before we get into discussing the novelization, um, I am going to play a clip from one of our recent interviews. And we premiered this 2 weeks ago during an unlive, aka pre recorded edition of Triple M here. And this is from my epic interview with Mr. Tom Jones Jr. And I said in the article version, and I said to him that as illustrious as that group of individuals who have played Michael Myers, um, is even more illustrious, maybe a smaller group of individuals, just three of them that played Loomis on screen. So um, to have interviewed Tom and also now to have interviewed uh, the great Malcolm McDowell a few years back, and of course HDN didn't exist until many years after Donald Pleasant's passing. So wouldn't have had the opportunity with him anyway, unfortunately. But I feel very fortunate that I've interviewed both of the two living Loomises now, and gotten to meet them both in person as well. So I'm going to play this clip now. This is one of my favorite parts of the interview. I mean, it was all great, and we talked about other project, many other projects that Tom has worked on over the years. Just a tiny bit of his filmography, mind you. But I definitely wanted to talk about Trick or Treat, the 1986 Halloween heavy metal classic, and we did talk about that. And he brought up things like The Abyss, which I was going to ask him about anyway. And so we just talked about a bunch of stuff. But his work on 2018 and Kills, he built the sets, and he spent 40 years building sets before Christopher Nelson helped form him into our latest Dr. Loomis. So here is a clip from that interview. I understand most of you have probably already watched it. I hope you have. If you haven't already, check it out when we're done here. This is just a small little taste of it. But this is Tom getting to the heart of it now, discussing how he became Loomis after decades of building all of these movie sets, right up to building the Myers house, recreating the Myers house, right there on the set where he would bring Loomis back, resurrect Loomis. Definitely one of all of our, I think, favorite parts of Kills. So there's Tom and myself at age 45. And here is a clip from my most recent interview conversation with Mr. Tom Jones Jr. Check it out. So I know you've talked about it before, but walk us through how after all these decades of working on all these sets for all these filmmakers, the decision was made to put you in front of the camera as the new Dr. Loomis.
Well, that actually happened on 2018 because we were still working with the original script.
So okay, so they were going to do it.
Our very first department head meeting, we're sitting in a conference room, and all the important people are at a table, and the rest of us were on the perimeter, just in folding chairs, and they're going through scenarios and schedule and so forth and so on. And the first AD leans forward and he looks down and he says, "Hey." I said, "Me?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "Take your glasses off." So I took my glasses off. He says, "Give me a look." So I gave him the sort of the stare, and he punched David. He says, "Hey, we've got our Loomis right here." So David said, "Yeah, works for me." So that's where the plan was hatched. Subsequently, they wrote that scene out of the script, but once the success of 2018 had come to fruition, they knew they had the horsepower to do their flashback sequence that they had wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Even though this wasn't the same scene, it gave birth to a whole 15 minutes of 1978 Haddonfield. Mm-hmm. And so when they came back they did Halloween Kills in Wilmington, and as soon as they showed up to start prep, they just called me Loomis. "Hey Loomis, what's going on today? Hey Loomis, this, Loomis that. Hey Loomis, you look like you need to put some weight on. You're looking a little too skinny," and stuff like this. So anyway, that was it was all kind of fun and games. And then they said, "Well, we need you to fly to Los Angeles and get a live cast done of your head for prosthesis." So they flew me out to LA. I went to a studio that Chris Nelson was involved with, and Vincent Van Dyke, and they shaved my head and my goatee and everything. They took a live cast, and then they built, they had a model to work with. So they had like a 3D of Donald Pleasant's, 3D model of his head. And then they took mine and just built, they put bags under my eyes, over my eyes, added to my ears, made my head a little bit taller, put a little prosthesis on the end of my nose. So there were 11 kind of small pieces altogether. So they made those up there, and then they shipped them back to Wilmington, and we did a camera test one day, and full costume, and I just pantomimed a scene, and they said, "That's it, we're done." So went back to my day job and kept doing that until the fateful night that I went on stage, which was we had a very ambitious build on that show. We built our Haddonfield neighborhood on stage.
Oh,
We built
yeah.
six houses, trees. We had about 15
including the Myers house too.
We took the Myers house from the 78 film, and the house on either side of that. We had enough archival information to recreate those two houses. So that was one side of the street. And then the other side of the street was a neighborhood where we did our 78 and 2019 trick-or-treating. It played in two different eras. So that when you were trick-or-treating in their neighborhood, you always assumed that the house behind you was the Myers house and the house across the street was the one that the camera was seeing. So it was a cut-to situation. So we copied 3 houses in this neighborhood called Carolina Heights. So those were on the other side of the street. And we did, we paved the street. We carved all the trees on the hero side to match the trees in 1978 that were in the Pasadena neighborhood. And then we had the Haddonfield Hospital going on. We built the burn set of Jamie Lee's house on the field at the studio. We built the exterior out in the country at another house to copy the house in Charleston. So we were going 7 days a week on that show, and I was actually running a crew. We were doing we're syncing up a scene from 2018 where Will Patton gets stabbed in the neck. Do you remember that set? He gets stabbed in the neck by that doctor.
Yep.
Blood starts spurting, and so we picked that scene up at a location in Wilmington that we had to do a bunch of modifications to match it up. And I was actually running that crew out there. And this was on Friday afternoon. So I left about 3 o'clock and I came home. I took a shower. I laid down for a couple of hours. Then I had to be at hair and makeup at 6. So I was in hair and makeup for 4 hours. And then I walked over. We were right in front of the sound stage. So I went in the sound stage. And as soon as I walked in, I was in the next scene up. So during the night, I was in half a dozen different scenes. Some I was like the focal point, and others where I was background. And we finished up about 7:30 in the morning. I went back to hair and makeup and had everything taken off. I went home, took a couple of shots of tequila, and took about a 2-hour nap. And then I got up and went back to work.
Yes, and we talk, of course, much more about that, and even some more specifics about filming the scenes that night, and like I said, just a lot more about Tom's career in general. So be sure to check that interview out in full if you haven't already. Most of you guys might have already, but if you haven't, make sure you check that out. And look for lots more conversations from Haddonfield coming soon right here to the HDN YouTube channel. I see Andromeda has checked in, another illustrious channel member, the great Andromeda, friend and supporter of the channel. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you're off the road now. Teen Wolf says that set must have been huge. 6 houses. Yes. Yeah, built on the same stages where The Crow was shot many years prior. And of course, the tragedy that happened there. Okay, it is time to talk a little bit more about this awesome new book release from Printed in Blood. And I have read not very much, not very much at all. Still just in the opening chapters, but I've read the prologue, like I talked about just a little bit last week. I've read the foreword by Curtis Richards, aka Richard Curtis, and I've now read, I believe, the first 3 chapters, basically up through the Judith murder. So basically through the prologue of the film now, I've read here in the novelization, and I have thumbed ahead and looked at some of the artwork ahead, because some of this artwork is just, I mean, I just can't say enough about how cool some of it is. And again, I know a lot of you own this and have been marveling at it yourself. But for those of you that don't own it, or if you did order the H45 version and it still hasn't arrived, or whatever the case may be, here is some more preview and I guess a little bit more of what I would call my own breakdown of this novel and just this whole release as a whole, because what we're getting, and again, for somebody like me, I mean, always wanting to own that novel and never having read it, always knowing that it added all this weird backstory going back to the ancient Celtic rituals of Samhain, and now here it all is in here. Now, like I said last week, the differences from the movie, it starts really quick, like in the prologue, and in the foreword, Curtis Richards, aka Richard Curtis, says he says that to him that was the assignment. The film's great, but there's a lot to fill in, and that's what he does here. So obviously, the obvious downfall to the novelization is that yes, it's going to remove a lot of the mystique around the shape and Michael Myers. So yes, is it better? Of course not. But is it fascinating as just this backstory that is not really canon? But then again, what is canon in this franchise other than the events of the 1978 film? I was thinking about that today, like, because this isn't really canon. Like, none of the novelizations, like even the recent ones, they're different. The Halloween Ends novelization has a lot of cool stuff in there that's not in the movie. So it's not canon, right? Right. But then again, this is Halloween, the ultimate choose your own adventure. So in a franchise where they're basically telling us now freely, hey, choose which continuity you want to go with this day, tomorrow, change it up. I would argue the novels, I mean, you could consider them one of the adventures you could choose. And it's just wild how much of the opening of it, talking about the origins back in the Samhain festival of the dawn of the original Celtic race is what they're talking about on here, what he's talking about. And but when he's talking about the rituals, so much of it reminded me of Halloween 3, and specifically the Cochrane speech to Chalice, where he's talking about the Samhain festivals and the hills ran red, with the sacrifices, and also Mrs. Blankenship from Curse, when she gives a similar speech to little Danny, and she's talking about the old traditions of Halloween. So, just as a general Halloween nut that I am, getting all of that old Samhain stuff thrown in there is it's pretty wild. And the story that it has in here, which Curtis says he learned in studying um, the origins of Samhain, which of course is the origin of Halloween, and he learned about this idea of a murderer who's torn apart by the village and is then condemned to basically have their soul always walk the earth for eternity, rearing its ugly head every Halloween or so over the centuries. And that's essentially the shape, the darkness, the evil, and it's described in very brief but pretty vivid detail here in the beginning, and it's all tied in with this Samhain origin. And then the book begins, right? Chapter 1, and we get all of this with Michael and his mom and grandma. That's nowhere to be seen, of course, anywhere in the film. And I speculated the other week. I said that maybe if the TV series is going to focus on characters from '78 film that haven't really been focused on that much, to me, my mind immediately went to Michael's parents, and even more so to Judith. When Dominic Cousineau Benoit was on here a few weeks ago, and we were just spitballing about what the show could be, and I said, what if it was 10 episodes and it's 63 leading up to the events of, and you focus on Judith, and this kind of does a little bit of that in the first two chapters. Chapter 1 is little Michael Myers, and his grandma is kind of belittling his Walworth's clown costume because it's too commercial. It's too funny. It's not scary. It's not part of that ancient Halloween tradition. And the mom's trying to play it off a little bit, but they're already laying these seeds in these early chapters that there's this heritage, and it's Richard Curtis, is tying in this story from his prologue into this already, with Michael having these dreams. And then he goes on to say, that the dreams are basically what was described in the prologue. Michael can kind of see these people that look like his sister and her boyfriend making love, dancing, having fun, and he's at the Samhain Festival with them all them centuries ago over in the corner. Essentially, he's having memories of this Enda character introduced in the beginning, which is this ultimate evil that has been cursed to walk the earth and comes back on Samhain's Eve if its urge and power is great enough. So that's what it's all laying down in there, and it's not until I think chapter 2, I believe, where we actually start getting into just a little bit of the movie stuff. But even then, it's just very little. And it's Judith with her boyfriend, who in this is called Danny. I think he's Steve in the movie, but in the book, her boyfriend is Danny, and we get a lot more with him in I think chapter 2 or 3. And this is where they I think it's chapter 2, because they're really focusing on Judith and that, and we get them spending time together. He doesn't, again, minor changes, but significant enough to me, and kind of just interesting, because instead of putting on Michael's clown mask, which is kind of, interesting that happens, but what we have is he puts on a Frankenstein mask, and there's a great illustration to go with it. And again, I can't even show you all of these illustrations, but there's just so much cool stuff, and some of it is really abstract and kind of just abstract illustrations. And then, some of it is just taking the words and really kind of illustrating it. And I mean, there's this beautiful picture here of this Frankenstein mask with Judith kind of just hugging it and like, kind of this very brief doomed love story, but this Frankenstein mask. And again, the lighting in here, the camera, it's not going to show it to you as good as it should be, but it's really beautiful art, and I just can't say enough about the illustrations, because I will read the page and then, yeah, I will just soak this in. I mean, you see, it's removing the crown from a pumpkin, because there's this whole extended thing where Judith pulls out the knife, the very knife that Michael's going to use on her later, that we who have seen the movie already know that, and she pulls it out and she's like playing with it and carving a pumpkin with it, and even kind of being kind of witchy and almost threatening, a little bit playfully threatening with her boyfriend. And this is an illustration of Judith playing with the knife, the very knife that Michael will use on her later. And he use it on her. He does, even much more than we see in the film. Stabs her at least 50 times, it is said in this novelization, in fact. And again, I appreciate that detail. So, again, this is just literally the first 3 chapters, and this makes up the movie's prologue. But there's Michael looking at the two of them. And in this, it all plays out just like in the movie, but not just like it, because it's a novelization. We do get these added details, extended sequences, if you will. The same, but more. And I gotta say, I'm really enjoying it. And I can't say enough about the amazing artwork featured throughout. Look at that. The attack on Judith right there. Look at that. I mean, any of these art pieces they're frameable. They're just frameable. Uh, they're frameable. Yeah, well, they are. They're frameable. Look at that. That's the scene when Mr. and Mrs. Myers get home and find Michael. I mean, I love it. That is so badass. And there is stuff like that throughout this whole thing. So already, like in the first 3 chapters, it's it's a trip for sure. It is different, and I knew it would be. And again, I've read different synopsises and recaps of some of the differences and stuff, but to actually be soaking in every word. And yes, I'm a slow reader as it is, and I'm a much faster writer than I am a reader. I can type fast, I can write pretty fast. Reading, on the other hand, if I'm really going to soak it in and comprehend it, takes me a while. And no, I have not finished the other books that I started either. I got to get back to them, but now this one's kind of taking precedent, honestly, because it's so badass, and I've just wanted to read it for so long, literally. So, and like I said, I've looked ahead at some of the artwork, and it's just mind-boggling. But there's lots of pieces I've not even seen yet, like that one I'm just seeing like right now. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff in here. But yep, there's all kinds of stuff in here. I mean, that's like a flashback of Michael, because they talk about him spying through the peephole on Judith, but that's later on in the book, that illustration. So I guess that's going to be him spying on Linda, I imagine. But in any case, I did put the link to get your copy, if you haven't already, in the description of this video before we started. Let me know what you think. I'm going to be talking lots more about this, like I said, as I'm reading it each week. We'll go over a little bit more. I'll give you my weekly book report on where I'm at and what I'm learning from it, and just some of what's standing out and really just kind of noting some of the differences. It's impressive though. It's talking about the artwork. I mean, it is just every time. I grew up reading comic books, and it kind of reminds me of that in a lot of ways. You just never know how, even if you know the story, which we all do, essentially, uh, you never know how it's going to be illustrated. And like I said, the artist Orlando Aracena, he, excuse me, some of it is more abstract, some of it is like more literal, but all of it badass, striking, some of it just really stunning, all of it beautiful. I love it. All right, you guys tell me what you think about Halloween Illustrated in the comments right now. Let's see, Andromeda. Did you guys see the commercial for the cooking show that Jamie Lee Curtis is a guest on? She brings knives as a gift to the host, then says, because knives are a part of my life. I have not seen that. I'm going to have to look that up. And I'll, of course, have to watch that episode of the cooking show. Yes, Sam has checked in as well. Can't wait to get mine with the H45 cover in May. Yes, I know a lot of you guys are waiting for the H45 cover. That's why one of the reasons I'm previewing some of this artwork to you guys and just some of what's in here. It's so awesome. Jenny says I should do Triple M stories. Yeah, we could do that. Like just each Monday, tell you a story. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more from the book for now. Right? We'll have story time with Matt. Yeah, on the weeks at least when we don't have a guest here, or even sometimes when we do. If we're still on and they can't stay on very long. Yeah, I'll do that. We'll do story time with Matt. Stories from Haddonfield. So there you go. That's part one right there. Part one of my breakdown of Halloween Illustrated, the first 3 chapters. And we are going to have Sue on here at some point. She just got busy this evening, but she's going to come on and review the first 200 levels. I think she's on 208 now of the Halloween mobile game, Halloween Match Made in Terror. So that'll be fun when that happens as well. But yeah, I think we could do story time as a semi-regular feature here. Maybe not every week, a weekly feature, but it'll be a recurring segment here on Triple M. Thanks, Mike. Says, gotta hand it to Maddie. Genuinely loves and appreciates the Halloween franchise. I definitely do. Not faking it. Sorry, I'm just reading back on some of your comments, getting seeing if I missed anything. Teen Wolf definitely getting the H45 edition. The delay though has got a lot of people angry. Yeah, I'm stoked to have mine in hand. Um, Rob says Halloween Illustrated is amazing. Have H45 cover with autographs and 2 picks. It's badass. Must say, love it, man. Just amazing. Damn, Rob. So you've got your H45 signed edition already. That's cool. Yeah, it's so good. That's why I can't talk about it enough. And again, I know the story. Like I said, I mean, it's a choose your own adventure, but um, and yeah, it's not canon. It's not the movie, but it's just so interesting to me, and that it existed, almost right after the movie came out. Would love to talk to Richard Curtis at some point, actually. Personally, I think that'd be awesome. Phil, you're stuck on 65. Yeah, I don't even think I've reached level 20. Maybe I think I'm in the teens still, but I it's been weeks since the last time I played it all. Andromeda says I deserve a cameo in the TV show. Well, shit. Uh, okay, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll cameo as anybody they want me to. Thanks for saying that. There we go. Malik, Ryan, I'm available. Sign me up. Yeah, you need a YouTuber or something like that. Hard nosed journalist. Yeah, I can do something like that. Or just a guy sitting in a bar in the background. That works too. Definitely genuine. Well, thank you, Mike. Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. We try to be genuine here. I mean, because this is a work of passion. It's not like we're making a ton of money here. It's not like, it's a work of passion, and that's what HDN has always been for 12 years now. And everything that comes out of it. And we do get some cool perks from time to time, and there is some revenue, but it's all genuine, honest love of Halloween and passion. And on Mondays, yeah, since we started doing these live streams in way back in 4 years ago, back in 2000, can you imagine? Um, since we started, it's um, it's been quite the adventure, but one constant has always been that we're going to keep it celebratory and positive, and just because that was the whole idea of starting the Michael Myers Monday hashtag back in 2013, was just something that would celebrate this one character and this one franchise, you know, and then that takes on a life of its own. And like I always say, people adapt Michael Myers Monday to mean what they need it to mean. For some people, it's like, oh, Monday sucks. Monday's like Michael's creeping up on me, ruining my weekend, and that works. For other people, it's like I'm going to attack the week and attack Monday the way Michael attacks, and that works too. So that's what these live streams have always meant to be about, was just an extension of that, and just celebrating that, and you know everything that comes with it. So thank you guys for saying that. Okay, Rob's arrived today, just 8 hours ago. Bought it on the first day they advertised it for sale. Nice. Awesome, man. Rob's stuck on level 22. Damn, game is hard. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, not for Sue though. She kicks ass on it. But yeah, it's not so easy for me. Yeah, Teen Wolf. We need to do a short story contest or something for Halloween. Our own Tales from Haddonfield. Now that'd be some fun story time. Yeah, the game Androma says the game where a group invents a story, everybody does one line, and then keep making it up as we go. Yeah, we could do that one night. We could do that in the live chat. Write the police station massacre from Halloween 4. Yeah. Like Teen Wolf says, doesn't even have to be Michael necessarily. Haddonfield is like Hawkins, where wacky stuff happens all the time. Yeah, I would say as long as it's around Halloween time. But yeah, it could be. And yeah, that would be an actual exercise in creativity. That who knows? Maybe they will get inspiration for the TV show from. Yeah, he does move fast. Totally. All right. I promised some poll results, and we did launch tonight's poll just a few minutes ago. But let's look at last week's poll results because we had Dave Ferrick here from Rob Zombie's Halloween '07 last week. I felt it only fitting to ask the obvious question in the poll, which was, what's your favorite kill from Rob Zombie's Halloween remake? And of course, Dave, he's got a lot of good ones, a lot of people's favorites. But there's a ton in that movie, so we could only put 5 options up. But let's go check them out right now. You can see that the overwhelming winner with 63% of the vote is the first kill in the film. Michael's first kill, the school bully. And he is, of course, played by star of Spy Kids, Daryl Sabara. That's also Daig's first kill. He's on record saying, and yeah, it's definitely a pretty good one. And at second place, with just 18%, Big Joe Grizzly. Up next, tied for third, is Ronnie with 7%, and also Linda with 7%. And then Judith comes in with 6%. This Judith kill in the remake, of course, a whole different beast compared to the original version, but definitely another one of my favorites in the remake, I would have to say. And like I said, we did just launch a few minutes ago this week's poll, which is asking what Halloween movie has your favorite opening credits. And you can write in any answer you want, but the 5 options listed here are Halloween 78, Halloween 2, 81, Halloween 4, Halloween 2018, or Halloween Kills, because those are among my favorites. Oddly, with the first 13 votes in, while 78 takes the early lead, H4 currently sitting with no votes. So some of you H4 fans got to get on that. Get H4 on the board. It could easily come from behind and sweep by next week, though, I think. I think it's possible. So make sure you hit up the poll in the community tab when we're done here. Mike says, love this franchise so much. Always have Michael Myers forever. Hell yes. The shape rules. Darth says that Charles Band was saying today he licensed a Halloween 78 Atari game in the 80s. He says it's worth a fortune in the box now. Yes, that is one of those grail items. Like a first edition of that novelization, that's a grail item for a lot of collectors Patrick, what do you think one of those Halloween 78 Atari games from the 80s might go for? I mean, still in the box? Wow, I can't even imagine. All right, while you guys discuss that, we're going to do just a couple shout outs right now. Just a couple this week. And we are going to start this week with the site formerly known as Twitter. This is posted by Evil Mr. Jingles, and I know we just shared him recently, but he is sharing some kick-ass artwork, original artwork for Michael Myers Monday. Jumping over to Instagram, shout out to Horror Vic, who shared some great video today from the actual Myers house. Another one from Instagram today. This is posted by The Morgue Studios. They say family is forever. Happy Michael Myers Monday, folks. Speaking of the Halloween remake, that's a damn good looking version of the mask. Another one from Instagram today, posted by Silence of the Stids. Just because that is a pretty impressive Michael Myers collectibles collection. And our last shout out for this week, also from Instagram, gotta give it up for the man himself. He was in the live chat this evening. I don't know if he's still in there, but I appreciate him popping in. The great Christopher Nelson, and he posted some great Michael Myers content on his Instagram earlier today. This is a great shot with Aaron Armstrong in the flashback mask, talking about Halloween Kills, talking about Tom Jones, talking about the Myers house. All of that comes into play right here. Great photo, but that's not all. He also shared this awesome shot, and he captions it saying, "Picture I took at the Halloween Kills poster shoot, hashtag Michael Myers Monday." And that is a killer new look at the Kills mask as they were shooting it for the poster. That badass flaming orange poster. Love the Kills poster. Love the Kills mask as it appears in the film. I have to say, of the Trick or Treat replicas, the Kills is my least favorite of the recent trilogy. As far as the Trick or Treat's job replicating it, mainly due to the paint jobs that were very uneven on a lot of those. Now some have turned out really nice. I've got my own personal one right over here. You're not even seeing. There you are. See, he's sitting over there. That's my personal Kills, and that one I really like that one. So there were a lot of good ones. But as far as on film, Kills, everything about Kills is ultimate Michael Myers. I know I always say that, but it's so damn true. Every single thing about that movie is just ultimate Michael Myers. So badass. If you ever want to be featured here in a shout out on Triple M, easiest way is tag us on your chosen social. We're on all of them, and we're always looking at the hashtags. You know, Instagram doesn't make it real easy to look at Michael Myers hashtags or Michael Myers Monday hashtags and look at them in chronological order and just see everybody that's posted in the last week. They don't really make that an option. Not on the phone, not on desktop. It's pretty annoying. It used to be an option, but now they just show the top, and they don't even do them in any type of order, or even give me an option to put them in any type of order. So, IG, get your shit together, please. Thank you. Yeah, Andromeda Kills was heaven. Kills was yeah. I mean, I think about it often. Just that firefighter scene. You know, Michael walking out of the burning Laurie's house, just so epic, so awesome. David Suber, you've got that game in the box? What? Wow. Darth says it's worth 50K? Damn. Wow. That's crazy. So there you go, David Suber. That game in the box. 50K. Can anybody else confirm that? I mean, it probably is. That is one of those grail items. I mean, not just even for Haddonfield Halloween people like us, but for Atari aficionados, for just video game aficionados and collectors. Wow. That's what that guy was selling it for. Wow. That's crazy. Andromeda says David's going to H50 in style. There you go. There you go, David. Damn right. That's right, Andromeda. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That is great. All right, guys. Yeah, team, we've got to get insurance on that game. It's in mint condition too. Damn. That is wild. Patrick, do you have that game? Or are you salivating right now at what David is telling us here? Or do you have your own copy on the shelf? You probably do. Wow, David, that is impressive, man. I wonder how many copies of those they even made back in the day. Yeah. All right, Darth, I'll have to check it out on the Full Moon channel. Yeah, that's wild. Ah, Rob confirms Patrick does have the game as well. Of course he does. Somehow I'm not surprised. He is that Halloween movie collector. Yeah, somehow I'm not surprised. Wow, guys, that's impressive. That's cool. All right, everybody. It is after midnight now here on the East Coast. But of course, that doesn't matter because we're always celebrating Michael Myers, whether it's Monday or not. And of course, it's always Halloween here and always that celebration as well. So, once again, happy Michael Myers Monday. As always, thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully, it wasn't too lacking in excitement after having, what was it, 4 or 5 weeks in a row with live special guests joining us right here with just good old me here for tonight. Hopefully, it wasn't too quiet for you. But yeah, we're gonna have some more guests here, And again, just keep an eye out for next week. There will either be a live show here, or if not, there will be an unlive edition here. And if we're doing unlive, then you can look for me in the live chat. I'll be hanging out with you guys that way. In any case, keep watching. Lots of cool stuff coming this week to the channel. Like I said, I've got an exciting interview from Haddonfield that I'll be announcing later on this week. And in just a few days, my exclusive new interview with another one of the stars of Late Night with the Devil. Yes, check that interview out with Laura Gordon, and check my previous interviews out. We've put a lot up in the last few weeks. I hope you guys are checking them out. A lot of these people, they have some great things to say about just Halloween itself, it's fun to hear them sometimes volunteer their Halloween comments, whereas sometimes it's a challenge. Like, how am I going to bring Halloween into this junket interview? But sometimes they just go right into it themselves. And to see that happened recently with two of our biggest interviews, with two of our kind of highest profile actors we've talked to in a while, meaning Sydney Sweeney and more recently David Desmalchin, where both of them, right off the bat, were just commenting about our Halloween backdrop and just the Halloween of it all, and had cool stuff to say about Halloween and about HDN. Pretty damn cool to see that. Yes, they, even at that level, they're having a moment right now, but they're also still just one of us. So I love seeing that, and I hope you guys are enjoying seeing some of that. And also in some of these interviews, even as it applies to Michael Myers, some of the people I've talked to outside of it, when I interviewed Dominic O'Neill, director of a recent Halloween movie called Haunted Ulster Live, he talked about when he watched the inspiration for his movie, which is Ghostwatch, that very same night that Ghostwatch premiered, the only night it aired, he remembers right after it, they aired the original John Carpenter's Halloween, and that was the first time he ever watched that. Those two viewings back to back, that fateful Halloween night, changed his life and led to 30 years later him making his feature film debut. So, there's cool Myers content in the conversations often, even when it's not necessarily somebody related to this franchise. And there's always Halloween in the conversation, because that's what we do, I was telling Sue the other day, we watch Hot Ones a lot. I love that show, and I always kind of think that HDN, what we do, we're a little bit like Hot Ones in that our hot wings is the Halloween stuff that we talk about in the interviews. With some interviews, other interviews, it's much more of a long form format, like this one I've got later on this week, where it's just kind of like what we've done here these last few weeks, which are even less formal than some of our other interviews. But the long form stuff, that's one type of interview. But some of these junkets, I often think of Hot Ones, where it's like, we're going to do the straight interview, but we're also going to throw in a little hot sauce too, a little Halloween sauce. So, in any case, as always, guys, you rock. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being channel members. To all of our channel members, thank you for participating in the live chat. Thank you for your super chats. All of it means so much. Think about becoming a channel member if you haven't already. It's just $5 a month, and it means the world to us. It helps keep the lights on around here, literally. Cool stuff coming this week to the channel. Cool interviews on the way. Keep watching right here. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of it. And if you're watching this on a replay, we want to hear from you as well. Drop us a line down in the comments, or just light up a pumpkin emoji in the comments. That helps with the algorithms and all that good stuff as well. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate the shirt compliment. Andromeda, thank you. I appreciate you and your support. David, thank you, man. I appreciate you as always. Jealous about that Grail game, but man, that is too awesome. Man, this has been fun, everybody. You guys rock. You're killer. We're going to do it again very soon. And like I said, if I'm not here live on camera, I will be live in the live chat next Monday. Either way, plan on being here for Michael Myers Monday live next Monday as well. Until then, I'm Matt Arts. For Halloween Daily News, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for chatting with us. And, of course, happy Michael Myers Monday. Good night, everybody.